Introduction to Contract Law in India by Siva Prasad Bose.
What is a contract? An agreement enforceable by law is a contract, as per the Indian Contract Act 1872. It is a voluntary agreement between two or more persons to exchange something of value. It confers certain rights and imposes certain obligations to the parties making the contract, which are enforceable by law. Both the parties mutually and freely intend to and agree to enter into the contract. Each person is legally bound to do what is promised. A party who fails to live up to the agreed promise has breached the contract. It may be oral or written or executed through electronic communication. It may be explicitly stated or implicitly agreed via the conduct of the parties. An example of a contract is as follows: A has an item for sale. B makes him an offer to buy the item for a certain price X. The next step can be any one of the following: A accepts B's offer without any conditions. The acceptance is communicated to B, it becomes a valid contract, and A has to sell the item to B at the agreed price X. A makes a counteroffer to B to sell the item at a slightly higher price Y. If B accepts the counteroffer, then it becomes a valid contract. A rejects B's offer, then there is no contract. Before B's acceptance and the communication of the acceptance to A revokes the offer or it lapses after a time limit mentioned in the original offer. Then there is no contract. Indian Contract Act 1872. This is the main act that defines the contract law in India. It states the circumstances in which a contract between two or more parties can be enforced in Indian law. Elements of a contract. Offer. There must be an offer by one party. An offer is a promise to be bound if certain specific terms are accepted unconditionally by the other party. Acceptance. The offer must be accepted by the other party. The law infers acceptance from certain actions, such as signing a contract or beginning to carry out the terms of a bargain. Promise. When the offer is accepted, it becomes a promise, which is legally enforceable. Consideration. This refers to the price paid for the promise. In every valid contract, there must be an exchange of consideration. This means that something of value is given for something else of value. Agreement. The promises made along with the consideration for the promise is called the agreement. Conditions for a valid offer. The offer should be in certain terms and not vague. The offer may be written, spoken or implied. The offer may be general to all members of the public, or specific to a person. The offer may be continuous or time-bound, with a fixed expiry time. The offer must be communicated. The offer should not just be a statement of intention. The offer may be revoked before acceptance, but once accepted it becomes legally binding. The offer can be rejected, either expressly or implied. Conditions for a valid acceptance. Acceptance of an offer by a party should be absolute and unqualified. There should not be a counteroffer. The acceptance should be communicated to the party making the offer, in a written or verbal form. Acceptance must be in the mode prescribed. The acceptance must be made within a specific time frame and before the offer is lapsed. The acceptance can only be after an offer is made, not earlier. Silence by one party cannot be held as acceptance. Acceptance must be given expressly by speech or in writing, or else implied by actions. Acceptance should be of all the terms of the offer, not just some of the terms. Conditions for a valid consideration. The action should be at the desire or request of the promisor. If the action has been made without the promisor expressly requesting for it, then no consideration is payable. The consideration must be real and not illusory. The consideration must be having some value as per law. Consideration may be in the past, present or future. Consideration may move from the promisee to another person. Consideration need not be adequate or equal in value to something given. All that is necessary is that it should have some value. Thanks for listening. Please like and share.